Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another installment of the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast for the week of 11/23/2024. Thanks for joining us once again. I'm your host D.
This is Juice.
This is Zero.
Here, and we back. Here, fellas.
Yeah.
Hey, with that showing that Mike Tyson put on, I think I could have gotten a ring with Mike, man.
Well, hold on now.
As long as he fake like he did versus Paul.
You got 20 million for him? Maybe we could talk about it.
Yeah, I know, right? You got to have money to get in a fight like that.
What did we recently hear that? What was like was it years ago? It wasn't even probably a couple years ago. Mike Tyson was like punched somebody in the airport.
Oh, and it was on a plane.
He tripped out on a plane. Yeah,
it was on a plane. Yeah. He was sitting in front of some dude, and some dude got drunk on a plane and was messing with him. Because he's
like kicking the back of his seat or some shit.
Mike Tyson, like, he was chill for a little bit, I think, and then just got a limit. Got up and started just duffing him.
I'm sure he deserved it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know what in your right mind would make you think that you would see somebody like Mike Tyson, who's known for beating ass, and be like, he won't beat my ass up.
You say he's known for beating ass?
Yeah, he's known for beating ass, and he's he will beat my ass though. That's crazy.
All I say is sounds about white.
Oh, yep. The audacity of caucasity.
I would have been a lot more scared of Mike back in the '90s than last weekend. He seemed old. He still seemed he had a little pop in his punch, but you could tell he was old. Wasn't the same Mike.
The thing about it is I think we all thought and knew he was gonna lose, or at least the majority of people that I feel like they thought and knew he was gonna lose. It's just that I at least thought that he would have put up a fight, like a real, actual attempt, and not just have it turn into whatever the hell that was,
like a parody kind of thing.
Yeah, like a Muppet show. I don't know if I expected him to lose. I thought, honestly, I don't know. I'm so disillusioned by media now, and everything. But I'm just I was going into it. I'm thinking they're definitely going to fight, and there's no way Jake Paul, from what I've seen of his training and his fights, is going to beat Mike Tyson. In my mind, there's no way that can happen.
Absolutely, and I get that too, right? I just feel like the reason why I think he's going to lose is because of age, right? That's the one thing that you can't beat, right? You can't beat Father Time, but at the same time, they handicapped them. They handicapped the match, considerably, for Tyson's favor, right? Bigger gloves, less rounds, less time per round.
I thought that was weird. The time they definitely cut the time from the round before.
Yeah, it was shorter. It was only 8 rounds. It was only 8 rounds, 2 minutes each. And it's that's a far cry from the 3 minutes, 12 rounds. And
it's like an exhibition.
But I mean, again, Tyson is 58 years old.
It's not easy for Tyson to just hop back in the ring and go 12 rounds. They had to handicap him somehow.
It's not. But so you remember when this fight was supposed to happen back in July, right?
Yeah.
And did you see the training videos that Mike Tyson had of him hitting the pads? Yo, he looked like a fucking monster.
I was like, this is over. And that's what I'm thinking about the whole time. That's gonna go in here with this guy. And
that's what I was thinking back in July. I was like, yo, this is gonna be the event of events. I'm about to ready to see a murder. A literal someone getting
It's gonna be very unfortunate for the Paul family. I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm getting ready to see a murder in this.
Right?
Execution.
I'm like, this is a sanctioned execution. We about to watch this live. And so I was just like, yo, let's go. And then they postponed it. They canceled it. They postponed it.
Did they say why? Why You remember what was the reason?
Tyson had there were like it was like health issues, like health concerns.
Okay.
He wasn't like it was something about him not passing like certain physical standards that he needed.
Okay.
Like it was like not like physically fit wise,
Mhm.
but like internally, like there was something wrong, and they had to push it because of his health issues.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure there's other reasons too that we're not aware of, but yeah, like back in July, I was like, yo, if that, I don't know, like maybe if that fight happened in July, I would have been like, okay, like I feel like Tyson would have put on more of a show because he was talking all that shit. He's just like, I'm the greatest, like like he's gonna die. Like I'm gonna kill him. I'm not gonna lose, right? And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, this is gonna happen. He's like, I'm not like those fakers out there. And I'm like, yo, we about to see a live murder. Let's go.
As a real quick aside, that's one of the things that made Mike great is his voice. Like this big, mean, scary looking dude
with this little
high-pitched voice.
High-pitched voice.
That's part of his mystique as Mike is just his voice.
You want to fight me?
My back was broken.
I'm gonna eat his children.
I'm gonna eat his children. My back was broken.
Slaughter him.
Slaughter him. This is gonna be a slaughter. Yeah. But yeah, one thing I'll say about the fight though, I think Mike looked old. He did look old. You could tell he just didn't have the. I see why they did the 2-minute rounds because he just his stamina was down, man. Like you could tell, like as the round went on, he was just slowing down a little bit. He looks good though. I mean, physically, he's still like he'd knock a motherfucker out, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you were talking before about how like when in his heyday in his prime, he was knocking niggas out in one round. For pay-per-view events, right? Like he was knocking dudes out 1 round, 2 rounds max. He would knock him out like 10 seconds, 20 seconds to the first round. And if they lasted till the second round, it wouldn't last very long. Right? It's like I'm talking like TKO.
Yeah.
He'd have dudes dizzy,
shaky knees.
Whatever. So you mean to tell me with the way
that was also about 30 years ago now that he was doing all that. So
more than 30 years ago. It was like 40 years ago, dude.
But a long time, yeah.
But you look now, especially with the training he was doing in July. Yes, his stamina might be down. Yes, he is a lot older. But do you really think Jake Paul could survive even one of those hits?
No, that's the thing. I still feel like Tyson could have knocked his ass out.
100%.
I just feel like even 100%. Now, like here, as I'm watching this fight, and I'm the initial fight, I'm watching it, and I'm like, I see Tyson come out, and I see that knee brace, and I'm like, oh no, what's happened? What happened? Something happened. He, pulled some in his leg. 58's hitting him. And also y'all saw J. Paul rolling that car in the it was a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Looking goofy, man. Like, bro, this motherfucker has no like does he see himself?
Yeah,
do you
man,
see yourself?
When that happened, I was like, yo, I hope
what's wrong with you?
I'm like, I hope he gets killed. I'm like, let's go.
And then I saw that, and then I was expecting Mike to come out with like maybe some people around him, blah blah blah. Now this thing just walked up
by himself. He walked out by himself.
There were some dudes in the background, and they didn't even go with him. Like they were just like, "Hey, go ahead." Or I don't even know if they knew this. They would just happen to be there, and he just walked up to the ring with his knee brace and his black what was it, poncho. But no. When I saw him go up that joke with that knee brace, and I saw him fighting, I was just like, he's hurt. Like something happened between the last time was announced and now, where like he woke up this morning and he got in the shower and he went down to tie his shoe and he came up and he pulled his back, and because I've been there, right? I know what that's like. Right,
could have even been an injury.
And I'm 41. I know what that's like. So I was just like, this is bad timing. Somebody should like let us know something's happening. And I saw him fighting. I saw him moving, and I was like, oh, he looks hurt. He looks like he's not He's doing a lot of jerking, like he wants to move, but he's not. Man.
Or
I was like, he's just old, but nope.
Could it have just been a play, right? Like it just could have been like what do they call it? Like a swindle, a ruse.
Yeah, like a
fake out, right? Like just
like a staged match.
It's just for show. Like he put the knee brace on, right? And it was smart because like probably his publicist or somebody was like, "Yo, put this knee brace on. It'll make it more convincing. People will think that you're hurt, right? They'll think that you don't have all your mobility, and that'll be just all the more reason.
That'll be the justification for why you didn't lay this Bama out.
Yeah, and for why you're not moving as much as you should in any other match. Like fuck, wasn't it the day before he was at a press conference? They were at the press conference, the weigh-in. Right, it was the day before, and Tyson smacked the shit out of Jake Paul, dude.
Like open-handed, cuffed him right underneath the chin and turned his head.
Wow,
like she was wild.
How hard he hit him. That's like boxing strength, but he kept his hand open.
Yep.
Right. So it's like if he even hit Jake Paul as hard as he hit him with a closed fist underneath the glove that's larger than normal to provide more padding.
That shit was fast, yeah.
Still would have been knocked out. Still.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Jake Paul has a propensity to take a punch. But anytime a fight happens,
I don't think so.
A lot of money exchanges hands, right? So like if Tyson did injure himself, you'd have a large swing the other way. People who were betting for Tyson would have bet for Paul, or so it just depends.
So maybe they didn't announce it. They had to keep it under wraps, right?
I think
they probably had to,
I think there might have been
so they wouldn't have that big of a swing in the betting.
There might have been a lot of educated guesses and a lot of educated bets taking place because I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew that this shit was going to be rigged. Like there's $60 million on the line just for the one fight. $60 million. Jake Paul got 40. Mike Tyson got 20.
Which is crazy.
But, all right, so that split went like that because Paul won?
Yes.
Yeah, the winner usually gets the bigger of the split.
The winner.
Sometimes they might even have like predetermined payouts, like
that
Floyd
too.
would already
So
know
that's what I need to know because
they're both true. So both of those are true. The winner does get the bigger payout, but at the same time, Jake Paul literally or whatever, whoever was talking, lawyers or whatever, they were talking and like, yo, Tyson, we're gonna pay you $20 million to throw this fight, to lose to Jake Paul, because we all fucking know you can knock this motherfucker out in seconds. But we're gonna pay you $20 million. There's no boxer, there's no working professional boxer to this day that will ever make that much money. If your name is not Floyd Mayweather.
Right. I don't know, man. I'm trying to reel back again.
At his age, there's no way.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Tyson does have one advantage.
But he could have knocked his ass out and got 40 million.
He could have knocked him out and got 40 million, but that's not the deal. That's not the contract.
That also depends.
What kind of
contract signed? We're gonna pay you $20 million to lose the fight.
Floyd Mayweather will have a set amount that he is going to earn in a fight, regardless whether he wins or loses. So I guess it just depends on whatever contract was ironed out prior to the fight, right? Like
again, hence the fight being staged. They said Tyson. We want to.
There could have been a bigger payoff for Mike behind the scenes, right? Like because out of all of this, the reason that this thing got this much hype was because of Mike Tyson, because he has a name, Like
yeah, exactly. True.
But that's why nobody would have cared,
Again,
but it's Mike Tyson making his return,
This is $20 million for an old retired fighter. He's almost 60 years old, which means he's lived 3 boxing careers.
Mike Tyson probably hasn't seen that kind of money since I don't know. He does do a lot.
I don't think since ever.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever made that much.
He's never made that much.
I'm sure he made something close to that when he was in his heyday.
No, he did not. He 100% did not. Don King made all the money. He didn't make shit. Don King made a lot of money off of him, but I don't even think Don King at that time made $20 million. No way. No, sir.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to roll back on it again. Like, if he could have just made, if he really wanted to knock this nigga out,
he could have.
He could have got $40 million.
Yeah, but the point was
he might have just been hurt.
The point was not for him to get $40 million. The point was for him to get the $20 million. The point was for Jake Paul to get $40 million.
Why?
The fact because it's a contract, because it's an agreement, because hence the stage fight.
So
if Mike Tyson,
who would propose? I need a full context. Who would propose to bring Mike Tyson in to lose against a nutbag like this guy and to give?
Hey, why you gotta be a nutbag, bro?
So Tyson gets the lower pot, right? Like,
because
who would propose this? Is this Netflix?
When his name brought all the publicity to the fight.
Yeah, when his name brought the publicity.
That's a part of it. That's a part of it. But the thing is, you have to understand, this is all Jake Paul's thing. This is all his event, right?
It's not Netflix, because
Netflix was the one who
hosted,
who distributed and hosted. Jake Paul was the one who paid out, who paid. So Jake Paul paid all of the undercards.
Okay.
Did you know that? Right?
I didn't know that.
He paid all of the undercards.
Okay.
Right? He paid all of their fees, whatever they would have make, win or lose or whatever. He paid all of that. He also paid for the marketing for everything, which is a lot of fucking money.
Right. Okay.
Millions. Now, for him to do that, it's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to make some of that investment back, right?
Okay.
And
all right.
Why him being the overall biggest investor in all of this, he stands to gain more, or he will be gaining more by hosting this event, having all the people, Netflix will pay him whatever, all the streams that come, he'll get a cut of that probably. And
so he's the main donor for this. So he's putting all the money out, and so he's getting his return. It's return investment.
Exactly.
Okay, so that now that makes sense to me now. Like,
so
that.
on top of that, you have Tyson's name, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking spectacle. We would never fucking think, like, we see Mike Tyson almost 60 years old against a fucking YouTuber, right?
Yeah, that shit just sounds ridiculous.
It sounds ridiculous, but
it sounds like 2020.
But you know what? You know what? It sounds like you want to watch it.
Yeah.
It sounds like, Mike Tyson, even though he's almost 60, I want to watch this dude kill this guy. Right? So every one of us tuned in and watched it. It was on Netflix. Sure, we didn't have to pay for it per se. We just had to pay the subscription fee for Netflix. But like, we all tuned in to watch it, and that's how Netflix makes their money back.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Netflix makes their money. Jake Paul gets a cut of that money. All Tyson had to do was show up, and that's what was agreed on before the fight even started.
All right,
Tyson,
that all makes sense.
We want you to sign this piece of paper saying that you will show up to this fight. You will fight this dude. We will bring the rounds down, the time down. You will show up, and because you showed up, and because you went the distance, we're gonna pay you $20 million. And Mike Tyson's like, "Where do I sign?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'll take that money to show up. Yeah.
That kind of money in retirement, like,
right. He's never seen that money in his life.
Well,
yeah, how you say no to that?
I've been reading. He was getting paid 30 mil for fights against Vander Holyfield and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure he's earned upwards of 20 million.
His management was getting paid.
Yeah, but it went to him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know who he has to pay now. You know what I mean? So like, now he might only get 10 million.
The 20 went to him. Taxes or whatever. But like, the 20 went to him. Straight up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is the biggest payday Mike Tyson's ever had, but I mean, since retirement,
nonetheless, like, to me, that logic makes sense. Whereas
he retired in 1998, right? So like almost 30 years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. He's been retired.
Jesus Christ.
Like, this is the biggest payday he's seen in 30 years. So
Did y'all ever watch
I don't blame
the
him.
Mike Tyson cartoon?
Oh yes,
oh
my God, that shit is
Mike
great.
Tyson Mysteries. That show is funny.
Oh my God, that's a top tier show to me.
It's
That
actually
show's
really
great.
fucking funny. Like,
Oh shit.
it's funny too. It's funny too because like he's actually the voice of himself.
Yeah.
You know, and then like there was like one thing that I saw too on that show with the
So the after clips, like
His voice
sometimes it seemed like he didn't want to be there, but he was just like, yeah.
The fucking
shit.
there was one thing I was watching where the fucking pigeon, right? The pigeon was played by Norm Macdonald. And the pigeon straight up just said something like straight factual, like they were just walking in a park or something. And the pigeon just starts talking, and he's like, I don't think everyone seems to not realize that this is Mike Tyson. He could kill you. He could kill all of us. He could kill all of us. And I'm like, yo, that's fucking true.
It's true. And again, like that dude in the airplane. I'm just like, you know who this is?
Like you are well aware that this is Mike Tyson. Like, why the fuck would you even think about starting with this dude?
Yeah, like that joke wasn't for show. That was real. He really knocked them Bamas out. He'll do it to you too.
I remember too. There was like a Jackass reunion on MTV, like years ago, probably like 10 years ago or something like that. And like Mike Tyson was a part of it because there was one time that they had like Steve-O fight Mike Tyson, even though he was already retired or whatever. And like at the end of the reunion, Steve-O was like, Mike, I just want you to hit me once right here. Mike's like, nah, I don't want to do that. He's like, I'm changed. I don't want to do that. And Steve-O's like, come on. He's like, all right, what if I run into your fist? And Mike Tyson's like, oh, okay. And so Mike Tyson puts his fist out and Steve-O just runs into his fist. But it's like, even that, and Steve-O fucking like, he said that he dislocated his jaw just by running into this dude's fist. And I'm like, you mean to tell me, this was 10 years ago or so, you mean to tell me that this 58-year-old man,
his still fist,
did not have not one opportunity to knock Jake Paul on his ass? He had multiple opportunities.
Like not even knock him down.
Yeah.
Like
no.
Like the punches that he did land, like Paul's hits weren't shit.
No, they weren't.
They weren't shit.
They weren't. And it's like you could tell in certain places when Paul landed his punches, you could tell Mike Tyson was like fighting really hard to like fight that instinct to swing.
Like I've never seen him shoot a glove like that.
I know.
Like that much? This nigga was fighting demons, not Jake Paul. He was fighting demons in his head. He was like, I have to kill them, but I can't.
He's not used to getting hit.
No. He's not to know.
Like
don't do it.
No. Like the power of Christ.
But on the flip side, I kind of feel Jake Paul. Like if this is my event and this is my spotlight and I'm the one bankrolling this, you better not embarrass me on goddamn TV. You know what I mean?
Well, then
like, no, man, lighten the fuck up, man.
That's what shit. Like all the holding.
Jake Paul probably told him in that clinch. He said, "Yo, lighten the fuck up, man."
That's exactly what he said.
Hard. Yeah.
And then you saw Mike Tyson tap him in the back like,
I got you. Okay. Shit, my bad.
Yo, real talk. Jake Paul looks like a dumbass. All right, like, can we be clear about this? He is a dumbass. He is a dumbass. Like, he's a dumb fuck. Like, you spent all of that money.
He got paid though.
He got paid.
Pretty smart,
sure. I mean, that's fine, but like,
let me use Tyson's name to bring notoriety and anticipation to my event, and I
think that we have to be clear that like making money doesn't not make you a dumbass, right? Like we have to be clear that like
I don't know.
I'm not saying he's not a dumbass. No, he is a dumbass, but I'm just saying at the same time, both things can be true. He still got paid a fuck.
He got paid a lot, sure. The dumbass
he invested a lot, but he made it back.
Now he might be a dumbass in his personal life. He might be a dumbass in his personal life, but you can still be a genius in your business life. You know what I mean? Like you can be a good businessman and be a dumbass behind the scenes, right?
He's definitely a dumbass.
You gotta give him credit. He made millions of dollars from this. You know, that's pretty smart. You know,
he made a lot of money
He did
for a
make
dumbass.
lot.
For a jackass. Nigga made a lot of money.
Hey, look at Trump. I mean, Trump's a multi-millionaire. You know, he's a dumbass, but he's a multi-millionaire. It's got to be, you know, it's a fine line, I guess. You know, it's got to be smart in business. I don't know. I don't know if this will ever happen again, man. I don't know if this will ever happen again. I don't know if Jake Paul makes all this money without Mike Tyson. Jake Paul probably needed Mike Tyson.
I don't know though, because like part of me is just like, Jake Paul, does he really want to be a boxer?
Apparently.
Then what is he doing?
It's not his first fight.
He looked good.
It's not his first fight.
He didn't look that good for not like a professional boxer.
Well, I'm talking about from a physical standpoint. He looked like he was in shape. He looked spry. He moved well.
He was 27. And remember, he's fighting an old man.
Yeah.
But all the people, the thing is,
so in comparison,
all the people he's fought have been like retired and older.
And the one, I think there was like a couple guys
who weight class that he would fight, like lower than his weight class that he would fight.
So he's not like really trying to be a boxer, right? He's like what do you call like the Tom Green of like boxing. Like he's out here pretending he's like a Weird Al Yankovic of boxing. He's
Tom Green used to be funny as shit, man.
I'm out here, I'm doing the thing, I'm dancing around, I'm putting on the show, but like
I don't know.
I'm in it for another reason.
Nah, I think he honestly, this is kind of like where he thinks his career is going, right? Like he wants to be a boxer. Like he's done the YouTube thing and he's still doing it, but like he wants to box. He legit wants to box now. But
he's just got a lot of money and wants attention.
There you go. The way he's going about it, he's using his influence in order to build his own ego in the thing that he wants to do. But we all fucking know if he actually entered the WBC in whatever weight class he's in, if it's a heavyweight, whatever he's in, he won't last. He won't last a fucking single minute. He won't last a single. It's a short
road before you find another career path.
He won't last.
You better get into curling or something. Be a bobsledder.
Something that's less risky for brain damage.
Yeah.
You know? But that's exactly it. He's using his influence to help bankroll his I don't know what you call it, his path. But he legit thinks and feels that this is what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way he's going about it is like fucked up. You know, fighting old retired boxers
and MMA fighters, like
and
he beat Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson Silva, and he's winning, and he's winning. And it's like if he even has a chance at losing, he'll pay the fucking person off to lose, to throw the fight, and pay them more money than they've ever seen in their life.
Which is like real shit. Like now that we see this, that's rich people shit.
That's rich people shit. That's rich people shit. That's 100% it.
Yeah. You know? Why do we keep paying attention to these people?
It's because it's this pure spectacle of it all. Like we think somewhere deep down that there's gonna be the one like rogue. Like I thought Tyson was gonna be it, right? Like to your point earlier, Juice, you were like, why couldn't Tyson just knock his ass out and take 40? You know? But it's like that's
not how this works.
We want to see deep down we want to see like one of these fucking staged ass fights be like a real thing. You know, we want to see the person who's at the top, maybe bankrolling it, or who stands the most to gain from it, get embarrassed. You know, deep down by the underdog or the freak show, the spectacle.
Right? I love a good underdog story.
But like that much money ain't nobody, especially
like you're not telling me that Anderson Silva joint now wasn't staged. Like you can't tell me that.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Like that's the thing. Like I think because I wasn't really paying attention to Jake Paul. I found that shit out later. Like he beat him, and that's how the shit goes, right? Because then you're like he did get in game. Like even in my eyes, Jake Paul gained a bit of credibility in that. And I was like, oh, Jake Paul. He beat Anderson the Spider?
No.
That's wild.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I'm like, no, there's no goddamn way in hell he's beating Anderson the Spider Silva. Like, this is not happening.
This dude,
like
talking about this dude is trained, and we're talking like Jake Paul's been in training boxing / MMA for what?
Anderson Silva's a legacy fighter. Like, that's crazy to think that he lost outright to Jake Paul, but
he sure did.
This streamer is just a super rich dude who does YouTube videos, and
it's money talks, man. Money talking. Like the undercard fights. The undercard fights were very entertaining, and those were real fights.
Those were real fights.
Those were real fights. Those were not.
Oh my God, lady's eye damn near rolled out her head. Like that shit was crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
That was wild. That was amazing.
I was
the second fight. Dudes was fought like, man.
Yeah, like scrapping.
Those two Mexican dudes was going crazy on each other, like
scrapping.
And it was intense. It's crazy to see those fights, all of them so authentic. Dudes is out there sweating, hurting. Like you saw the grit.
Yep.
You got none of that in the last fight. Not a lick of it. It was like, it was hard. Again, it was hard to watch.
Undercard fights are notoriously better than the main events at a lot of these boxing matches, especially with Mike Tyson, man. Like I said, pre-cast, man. Like
that's because he was knocking niggas out.
There's always been speculation that Mike has thrown a lot of his fights because his fights were so quick back in the day. I mean, you'd have all this build up to this pay-per-view, and he'd fight some bum and knock him out in a minute and a half. And they just made, $25 million for this.
Tyson wasn't fighting bums, man. Tyson was fighting
Tyson was fighting some bums,
highest level. Nah,
he was fighting some bums back in the day. It was guys that you never even heard of after they fought Tyson. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, because they lost. They had to go into rehab.
9 times out of 10, undercard fights are better because that's the biggest stage that any of those undercard fighters will ever be on. Those two fighters, those two Mexican guys will probably never have as big of a stage in any fight they go up against in the future as they did that fight. That was their shot. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. If my opinion is, if it was staged, I can't blame.
I mean, we watched this shit on Netflix. Like what?
I can't blame either one of them, right? Because this is the biggest payday for like the lightest amount of work. Mike Tyson's probably never had that easy of a payday, man. Like, hey, just show up, throw a couple punches, you know what I'm saying, and you'll make 20 million, bro. You're good. Jake Paul, it's a win-win for him as well. He's kind of notorious about it now.
Yeah, he's gotta have no scruples.
Yep, and a lot of money. Don't know.
A lot of money, no scruples. Like why? Yeah, just gotta have money. Richie Rich.
That's all good.
Yep.
All good, man.
Right,
hey, so would y'all watch another Jake Paul fight ever again?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, see, Mike
brought
in all that. He brought in all that publicity.
Mike Tyson's a fucking legend. He's a fucking legend,
Mike.
bro.
We wanted to see Mike. I didn't even know who Jake Paul for real was, man. I looked up this Bama before the fight, and it was like, oh, okay. I did some investigating before the fight to see whose ass Mike Tyson was about to beat. Like whose ass is this? That's about to get beat. Yeah, who's dumb enough?
It definitely looked like he told him to lighten up when he tapped him on the shoulder, man.
That's exactly what he said.
He said, ow.
Yeah, ow.
Ow. It's like, all right.
All right, I got
all right.
Yo, like even during the fight, you see like Tyson was doing this bobbing and weaving when there was no point to doing so. Like Jake Paul was like 10 feet away, and he was like bobbing and weaving, like trying to make it look convincing, like he was in the middle of battle. And I'm like, stop.
Sorry, there's that one hit that Mike did land on him that tossed him back into that rope.
Yeah.
That shit was like, oh no. And then that's what they had to clinch. That one hit, he was like, and he rolled away. Like, it was like 8 feet. He rolled all the way back to that rope. It was like, whoa. Hold on now. Sir.
Yeah.
You know, there also might be, and I'm gonna go here while we're on the subject. There also might be like a underlying, like a subconscious, like, you know, it's kind of hard for blacks to accept that white people are more athletically gifted than them in a lot of certain cases. You know, like a lot of athletes are black, right? So like, if a white boy is faster or stronger or a better fighter, you know, a lot of black people tend to lean towards the black guy winning these fights just off general principle, right? Like, man, this white boy ain't gonna beat this black dude. You know what I mean? Maybe subconsciously, it's hard for y'all to even imagine Jake Paul being able to hang with Mike, not only because he's Mike Tyson, but because of the fact that we know Mike is a freak. You know what I mean? And we just
maybe in other circumstances, but not this one.
That's not what this is, man.
That's not what this is.
Not even a little bit.
It's like that all the time. It's like when you watch football. It's like when you watch football.
But it's a 27-year-old versus a 58-year-old.
It's like when you watch football. But
one guy's a champion,
and the 58
a world champion.
The 58-year-old is irrelevant to the 28-year-old, right? Because y'all thought Mike could win.
That's not what.
So the age doesn't matter. If Mike is 58 and Jake Paul is 28, that doesn't matter because y'all thought Mike could win that fight.
I know Mike can win that fight.
We know Mike.
That was a payday. We've been talking about it for like
the age is irrelevant. Don't throw the age out. Leave age alone.
Well, nothing is relevant when there's a payday and you paid off. Nothing's relevant. No punch in that ring was relevant.
Speculation that it was a payday. Speculation.
He signed a contract.
It's like when you watch football and you see a white cornerback or a white running back. You're like, damn, this white boy, he's faster than the black dudes around. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're subconsciously not used to, like, if Jake Paul came out and beat Usain Bolt. If Jake Paul and Usain Bolt put a race on Netflix next week, right? Y'all wouldn't tune in to watch it and be surprised if Jake Paul won the race against Usain Bolt. You'd be like, hell no, man. No way.
Yes, hell no.
What
is going to win a race against Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying?
We will have to compare that against times, man. Like, we will have a reference point.
Yeah.
Like, if they're running like the slowest time Usain Bolt has ever ran, right? then Jake Paul beats him. I'm just like, well, okay, all right. Like, this is the slowest time anybody's ever run this race, but like,
I don't know.
But he beat him.
I watch a lot of sports.
I would think it's being paid off.
Whenever there's a white athlete who is better or faster than a black athlete, it is surprising. It stands out even amongst the white people, right? They'll be like, this running back, he's white.
I don't know.
It does. It stands out.
It might to you,
good,
but I don't think that's the general consensus. Like,
you guys watch a lot of sports?
I don't.
I watch a decent amount of sports. I'm more into basketball, baseball, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I think what's celebrated the most is the actual skill, not the color of the person it's coming from. Right, like in basketball,
like if you watch soccer,
you have like Steve Nash. Like, Steve Nash is one of the most gifted ballers there ever was. I think, his handles were crazy. White guy, a white guy from fucking, where is he from? Indiana. It's about. I think it's about the skill.
But you'd be surprised if Steve Nash beat Michael. If Steve Nash beat Kevin Durant in a basketball game, Kevin Durant is the more prestigious athlete.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Why? Yeah, because they're both like professional top tier athletes. Like, look, if Mike Tyson went up against another 58-year-old white champion boxer, right?
He wasn't. He was 28.
No,
Mike Tyson.
What I'm saying is that, like, if they put him on the same level, if you have these athletes who are professionals on the same level, it's either or. I'm not going to automatically assume the black guy's going to win.
So you didn't think before this fight that Mike Tyson was going to win the fight?
That's racist, sir. Automatically think the black guy's gonna win.
Y'all didn't think that Mike Tyson was gonna win this fight before the fight?
Jake Paul is not he's not a professional.
It's because Mike Tyson is a professional boxer who
but Mike Tyson's 58. Y'all just said he's 58, and y'all weren't giving Jake Paul credit for beating a 58-year-old. You know
no, I will never give this 27-year-old credit for beating a retired 58-year-old.
So wait, y'all thought Mike was gonna win?
Yes.
What?
Look,
Mike couldn't win. Mike look. I think it was. Look, I'm convinced at this point that it was rigged.
100%.
Like I've seen the videos. Frank explained the way the structure. Like Jake Paul's paying these other fights. This dude's making an investment. This is
this whole event.
Yeah, this is a business decision, right?
And also, see the business model for this.
This
fight
was a spectacle
because it aired on Netflix. There was no pay-per-view to get paid from. So usually, paydays are also determined by pay-per-view sales. So
all I'm saying is this was a spectacle. So there's no way if this was a drag-out brawl, like if this was an actual sanctioned fight by like a professional league. No, sir.
And things work differently.
Did you see the fight? Did you see Jake Paul moves? Like, look, Mike Tyson moved poorly. I'm assuming he was hurt, but maybe just because it was rigged, he's old. But Jake Paul, for a 27-year-old professional?
Nah.
I don't know, man. I've seen better. I just watched 3 professional fights before this. He didn't move like them.
No,
at all.
They were in a different
he didn't move like them at all.
They were in a different weight class, mind you. But yeah, his footwork was sloppy and his technique was sloppy.
Oh my god! Yes, his technique was shit.
It was sloppy.
Right, so
his hands were down. His hands were down constantly. And
yes,
you could if you just watch the fight again, if you really watch he usually had one hand up, one hand down. Whenever he would throw a punch, he would always show his center line. Like he is terrible, terrible.
Look, if they were on equal playing field, I've seen white boxers beat black boxers. Fighting is a whole thing. It's mental. It's physical. It's training. It's all these things. Yep. You can't just assume the race of a person is going to determine their outcome. Like that's crazy, especially in football. But in professional football in the NFL, to see a white running back outrun another, like that's crazy. Just automatically assume because he's black that he's going to run faster. That shit is racist. Like America's racist, right? America is racist, and we do have these preconceived notions, right? But if you actually are paying attention to the sport and if you're actually invested, I'm not. But if you are actually invested, you should know the stats of this white guy who's running, and you wouldn't be surprised that he's able to run that fast if you know how fast he's run before.
With all that being said, you picked the black dude before the fight to win.
Because it's Mike Tyson.
It's Mike Tyson. It's not a random black dude.
You're kind of giving my point to me.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about? How was that giving? Explain to me how is it giving you your point? Because he's black?
This is what I was saying.
You picked the black guy over the white guy to win that fight.
I picked Mike Tyson over Jake Paul. I picked a professional boxer over a streamer.
Who has been a world champion.
Well, you would have been wrong because Jake Paul won the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing you ain't bet any money on it.
Jake Paul rigged the fight. The fight was rigged.
We just went over this.
What? What do you mean?
It's speculation. It was rigged.
It's the skill that was celebrated. We know Mike Tyson is a retired world champion, world boxing.
30 years older than the opponent he fought. You know what I mean?
Sure, but just this year he was training. He's like, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm made of, right? And he was taking dudes out with the pads and the bags. People were like, "Yo, I can't hold the pads against this guy. Like this guy is still a fucking monster at 57 at the time."
It's entirely plausible that during all that training, all that time he was ready, he was amped, and dude just pulled something in a way that wasn't normal for a 58-year-old man.
That's plausible.
That's completely plausible.
But at which point,
still not just a black guy beating a white guy that I thought would happen.
He's not. Mike Tyson is not your ordinary black guy.
Yeah.
He's not your ordinary 58-year-old black guy.
But I'm 41 and I pulled my back standing up after putting my daughter to sleep.
30 years older than the guy he was fighting. So the age didn't factor in when you were picking who you wanted to win the fight?
Definitely factors in, yeah.
But you picked a 30-year older fighter.
Yes,
because Jake Paul is shit.
Wait.
What are you talking about?
Y'all can't say race don't have nothing to do with it when y'all pick the black guy to win the fight.
Oh my god, dude, you're just saying things.
You did. Even though the black dude was 30 years older than the other fighter he was fighting.
Did you watch any of Jake Paul's fights? Did you watch any of Jake Paul's fights before this? Because I watched two of them.
If it was two,
I watched 2 Jake Paul fights before this, and I knew immediately that this was some bullshit. Have you seen Mike Tyson fight? You've seen Mike Tyson fight.
To each his own opinion. I'll say this as a sports watcher. 8 times out of 10, whenever there is a sport that is dominated by brown or black people.
Hold on. Do you have citations for 8 times out of 10?
When there is a person of another color, lighter skin, fairer skin comes in to either be faster, more physically dominant than the darker person,
you might just be talking about you.
I don't know if it's about me. I watch a lot of sports, bro. You just say you don't watch a lot of sports. I mean, even people that watch it
8 times out of 10 based on what?
It's a surprising thing. You don't really expect it. You know what I mean? It's true. It's true.
America has. Biases. Look, you remember, America has always tried to make black men seem animalistic and stronger than the normal person. Right. So if you're talking about preconceived notions, it's plausible, right? But if we're talking about professional fighting or we're talking about professional sports, I don't think that a rando is a rando black guy is not gonna just beat a white guy just because he's black.
Well,
that's crazy talk.
You still have to play the game.
A professional black guy and I'm not just going to beat a professional white guy because he's black. That would be a crazy thing to think.
Just because he's black, right? Obviously, you picked a black guy in this situation because he's Mike Tyson. That's why he got picked, right?
Yes.
But Mike Tyson was 30 years older than his opponent, who happened to be a white guy, and you still went with the black guy.
Because Jake Paul did shit.
He's 30 years older than the fighter. You know what I mean?
Mike Tyson. It doesn't matter.
It kind of makes sense that Jake Paul won.
Mike Tyson is still a trained.
You could believe that.
Trained professional boxer.
Mike Tyson is
Jake Paul is not really a trained professional boxer.
Yeah.
He's doing this shit for fun. He's doing this shit for shits and giggles. He fucking bankrolled this whole thing. You really expect the person with Mike Tyson's experience to lose to someone who is a fucking amateur at best?
He drove a car to the ring. He thinks this bitch is fucking wrestling. He drove a convertible. I think
he drove a convertible to the ring.
He drove a convertible up to the ring.
Oh, Jake Paul did. Yeah. Damn.
There's no way that Jake Paul on his best day, in his dreams, could ever be, even if Mike Tyson is 58. Mike Tyson still fucking got it. If Mike Tyson wasn't training since the day he retired, then sure, a lot more plausible to maybe think that this fight wasn't rigged. But Mike Tyson was training up to this year.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. And it's not just because he's the black guy in this situation. He's fucking Mike Tyson, bro. Like, stop.
In hindsight, Mike Tyson slapping the shit out of Jay Paul beforehand may have been his only internal vindication of doing this shit.
Right.
He's like, I'm selling out. But I'm gonna smack the shit out this motherfucker in front of everybody before this.
You know what the thing is?
That'll help me feel better.
I told you, Mike had a history of throwing speculation of him of fights being thrown that he fought in because of all the early knockouts. But Mike Tyson's not used to being on the losing side of those throws either. You know what I mean? So Maybe Jake Paul did have to tap him and say, "Hey, man,
But
calm down. You're supposed
the
to be.
definition of throwing a fight means losing the fight.
You're supposed to." And
So
Mike
what
is
does
not used
that
to being
mean?
in that position. Mike is usually the victor in the fight that was thrown. Now
No.
he's the one
But you're
who's
talking
throwing.
about you're talking about the past. Mike Tyson never threw those fights. He fucking
No,
knocked
his
fuckers
opponents.
out.
His opponents did. Yeah.
Oh well, I
So
don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying. Mike is
I mean, that's
This is an
plausible,
all new
but
position
like,
for Mike.
Why would they need to? Like, who's like thinking Mike's gonna lose to you? Just called them randos. Like,
the bums.
yeah, you just called them bums. Who would think that Mike would be?
Inflated.
Well,
You know,
one,
like-
because there were pay-per-view numbers. Two, because the fight happened so quick. You know, it wasn't really a fight. He was knocking guys out in 30 seconds, a round and a half.
Do
You know,
you think maybe it's just because Mike Tyson hit that hard?
Yeah,
And
maybe he
got
actually does
killed?
knock niggas out.
It comes down to
Maybe it
comes
actually
down
does
to
happen in
individual
real
fight,
life.
right? You know what I mean? Like it just
Wait, what?
depends.
It comes down to what?
Each individual fight. I mean, if you go through a
Sure.
compilation of all Mike's early knockouts,
But the
some
constant-
punches look harder than others.
But
Right.
the constant is that Mike Tyson was
Oh, shit.
knocking dudes out every time. Like he was
Yeah.
always not. He was knocking dudes out every time. 1 round, 2 rounds in. Like, do you maybe think maybe there's a possibility that Mike Tyson hits that fucking hard, and that he's actually that skilled? He has the vision.
But when you're
has the
going
vision
against
to get
another
in
trained
there.
fighter who's training to take a punch, I mean, if I have 8 months worth of hype leading up to a fight in a pay-per-view, and the fight lasts 25 seconds until the guy gets knocked out, and that happens multiple fights throughout your career, you might have speculation of maybe paying guys to throw fights. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that might have been some of the biggest paydays those fighters have ever had as well. So, but
Maybe there's a ninja in the audience who
I don't
hits
think
him with
Mike
a
Tyson has ever
dart
been on this side
and makes him pass out as soon as Mike hits him.
I don't think Mike has ever been the one to throw the fight. He's always used to being the victor in the thrown fight. You know what I mean? So, you know, maybe that's why Jake Paul had to tap him and say, "Hey, man, back off a little bit." You know, remember the plan here, Mike.
I think the state of boxing, because boxing is one sport that I've been watching for most of my life, but I think the state of boxing has definitely changed from then to now. Right?
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same industry that it was in the 80s and 90s. Right? Things have definitely changed to the point where we had shit like just maybe like this decade, this past 10 years, like Floyd Mayweather fights, right? Like he's fighting against Manny Pacquiao. He's fighting against who the fuck did he fight against? Whatever. He's fighting it like Floyd Mayweather is fighting against people, and he's dancing around the entire fucking time. All 12 rounds, going the distance every time. And what does Floyd Mayweather have to gain from that? 20 million every fight.
It's like the incentives are different.
Like it's all like it's always been about the money, but now there's much more money to be made, especially with inflation. If you put that if you take that into account, way more money to be made. And you know what? Both fighters get to walk away with decent money. In Tyson's case, in his era, that was very different. The money didn't necessarily go to the fighters. The money went to management, right? Your Don Kings, your I'm thinking of Leon Spinks, but like he was a fighter. Like, god damn it. But like
Don King was definitely the most famous promoter though.
Yeah.
Because of the hair, and he
was the one who found Mike.
And he was the one who was with Mike, yeah.
He's the one who found Mike, and he was the one who had the most to gain from exploiting him.
I think Don King also was the promoter for Rumble in the Jungle, right? Wasn't he there for Ali and
Ali Frazier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like the way the money is distributed now it's going to, and you know, with this event's unique in its own right with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but like the way the industry is now, like the biggest paydays come from the spectacle, right? And the heavyweight fights. Excuse me. There's a lot more money that goes to the fighters now, right? Because of how the money is sponsored or how the money is held and how it changes hands. Like management does not have as much of a say in what money goes where these days.
Yeah.
This opportunity was Mike Tyson's opportunity outside of taxes to get most of that $20 million in his pocket right away. And they did him a favor, like, yo, we're gonna shorten this to 8 rounds. We're gonna do 2 minutes each round. We're going to give you bigger gloves. We're going to get both of y'all bigger gloves. And we even make the ring bigger for you. You know?
And they knew it was going to be a payday. Just lending Mike Tyson's name to the whole event was just a payday in itself.
All they said was, Mike, sign here. And Mike's like, I'll sign any way you want.
Hey, come
right?
on.
Right? It's like, sign here. It's not because Tyson is the black guy. It's because it's Tyson.
See, no, I'm not saying I would never say that a white athlete can't beat a black athlete because he's white. Right. But I'm saying subconsciously for a lot of people, when it comes to the world of sports and athletics, right? Like, especially in a sport such as boxing, where it's one-on-one, where you have this legendary fighter whose name is Mike Tyson. He happens to be black, you know, even though he's 30 years older than his opponent, you know, we're still going to pick Mike Tyson because we can't imagine this dude beating him. You know what I mean? And maybe it wouldn't have mattered if Jake Paul was white. Maybe if Jake Paul was Hispanic, it would have been the same deal. I'm still picking Mike Tyson, you know? So it doesn't matter, but just one little observation I had.
So with that, like, do you think if Tyson Fury went against Mike Tyson?
That'd probably be a good fight. I mean, of course,
who do you think would win that fight?
Mike Tyson with his legendary nostalgia.
Tyson Fury,
of course, Tyson Fury should beat him. Yeah, of course, Tyson Fury should beat him. Like, but I would probably pick Mike just off of nostalgia. Like, but probably one of the most infamous, famous boxers we've ever had.
But Tyson Fury is the white guy. Of course, like what do you mean?
Tyson
like,
Fury is also younger, before, and,
right?
He's younger, and you know, anybody with.
It's because of the experience, isn't it? It's because of the experience, the amount of fights under the belt. Tyson has more experience, but Tyson Fury has the advantage of age, and he's also the top heavyweight champion of the world at the moment.
Anybody with any kind of sense, we should have picked Jake Paul just off the age factor alone. Like, Mike Tyson's too old; he can't do it anymore. He can't. He looks good. Can. He looks good hitting a bag in practice, but that's practice. That's not live bullets. You know what I mean?
True,
like,
bags
you're
don't
actually
hit
out
back.
there.
I'll give you that.
Guys always look good in football practice and basketball practice. They look great, but nobody's really defending them or
But we're talking
really against them,
but we're talking about a YouTuber, not a professional fighter. We're talking about a YouTuber who probably could not make a dent, even if Mike Tyson is 70. Who probably couldn't even make a dent, and Mike Tyson just needs one opportunity, one.
So if they fought tomorrow,
one left hook to the chin.
Who are y'all picking? Who y'all picking to win the fight? If they fought tomorrow.
If they fought with no money on the line, Tyson
no money
every time.
Yeah. I would pick Tyson.
Every time.
I thought Tyson was going to win.
And again, not because he's the black guy, because he's Mike Tyson. It's because
I thought Tyson was going to win.
The skill gap is huge.
I thought Tyson was going to win, one, because of the skill gap, and two, just because even if they did throw it, I thought they would throw it in Mike Tyson's direction just because of him making a comeback and him being the famous name. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he lost, I was actually surprised. I was like, damn.
I wanted to see that too. Like I said, I wanted to see a sanctioned murder on screen. But we didn't get that. And I knew I'm like, yo, if Tyson doesn't do it by round 3, it's over. I'm pretty sure he's gonna lose. It's just a matter of
real talk. If I'd have known how things was paid out beforehand, I wouldn't even probably bother to watch for real. Like, I just didn't know. But when you lay it out like that, this shit was a given.
It was all a business decision, a business move. Right.
It was still one of those generational things where you had to watch, where were you when Mike Tyson made his comeback, that kind of thing, So I think it was still working.
Nobody's gonna be talking about this shit in 2 weeks.
Everybody was so hyped about that fight. My sisters were texting me, "You watching the fight? You watching?" I'm like, you not even watch. What's the last time you watched a boxing match? You asking me if I'm watching the Tyson and Jake Paul fight?
Yeah,
that fight was everywhere, man. That's all last Saturday night was about. Was that fight?
It was super hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
Super hard to watch.
I don't watch fights because
y'all felt bad for Mike, or because of the actual skill being displayed.
It was everything.
It was hard to watch.
It was just really hard to watch.
It was I was cringing.
I've never seen Tyson's footwork be so because I'm reminded of Ip Man 3 when he fought against Ip Man, and I'm like, yo, that's the Tyson we needed to see in the ring, right there.
I forgot about that.
Wasn't that was so random? Yeah. He fought Ip Man
Yeah, you can follow
that
Johnny
fight was
in.
cool, though. That fight was actually cool.
That was cool. Choreographed as it was, but like Mike Tyson was still like the way he was moving, like he was moving and he was bobbing and weaving and he kept his hits like just he had such great form.
I think there might be some credence to what Juice is saying about Mike being hurt because footwork you feel like should be one of the last things to go. Like footwork doesn't involve. Think about the countless hours that Mike trained on his footwork back in the day. Like he should still have those skills for the most part. Him not being able to manipulate his feet might have been hurt.
A lot of that's the core, man. Like your back is pulled, your knee goes out. That shit. Mm-hmm. Look. He had that knee brace, man. I mean, I can't help but think that like that had something to do with it. If you pull an ACL, like footwork is gone, son. Like you're barely standing up.
The naivete. Think about it. Think about this real quick. What have you ever seen a fighter go out there with a knee brace on?
No,
not once.
Mm.
Think about it.
Thinking about it, yeah, I can't really. Yeah, even like an elbow brace or anything. Yeah, you're right. Because they wouldn't be allowed. Because they wouldn't be allowed out there. If they wouldn't be allowed out there, the doctors and the medics would be like, you can't go out there. It's probably too much lateral movement that has to happen if you have a knee brace.
And you wouldn't be in your peak.
Fighter knows. Even the fighter knows.
Yeah. You wouldn't be in your peak to be fighting.
Exactly. What fighter do you think have you ever seen go out there with a knee brace or an elbow brace, ankle brace?
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, damn, you're right. I've never seen a guy with a brace on his knee or anything.
No.
Just even like a copper fit brace, not like
nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
Just shorts and boots. That's it.
But once the ball starts rolling and the show must go on, Mike, slap on a knee brace, get on out there, man. Let's go.
Mike should have done a substitute.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, but I think I honestly
Frank can go back and make me watch that Ip Man fight with Mike, man. That was a good fight.
The fight was dope. But at the same time, yeah, sure, he could have been hurt, and he's definitely an old man. But I think I'm more inclined to think I'm like 60-40, no, 70-30, 75-25, 75-25 inclined to think that the knee brace was just for show. Just to convince all of us that Mike Tyson was more handicapped than he should have been.
Yeah.
Damn, this movie came out in 2016, so it's only about 8 years old. Yeah.
Yo, time is moving too fast.
50. He was 50 when he did this fight.
I mean,
I remember first seeing this fight. I was like blown away. I was like, wow. Mike Tyson's acting sucked, but the choreography and everything was actually cool.
I mean, that fight never actually happened. Like, it was just like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, why not?
Why the fuck not? Like, he wasn't playing himself, but it's like, it's fucking legit Mike Tyson, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And they fought, and the fight was exactly 3 minutes long. Because it was the one round with the buzzer, and then like the way the fight ends was so cool.
Mike threw like a punch at him and knocked him back with the wind from the punch. So, oh shit. But yeah, man, hey, we'll sit here and hope for the next Jake Paul, Mike Tyson 2. If it comes out, are y'all gonna watch? Y'all gonna watch it?
Nah, what?
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson 2?
I think I might leave that alone and hear if word of mouth comes that like Mike Tyson legit like knocks his ass out, then I'll catch the recap. But I don't know if I'm gonna.
This is like lightning in a bottle, right? Like how many times can Mike Tyson have a comeback? You know what I mean?
This is with him. It's never gonna happen again.
Yeah, this was.
I'm not gonna say never. I'll say never say never, but like he's 60 years old.
Yeah.
And he got $20 million from this. He got at least a cool like 12 or 13 million from this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you think about it, they had to pay everybody and
taxes. All that, yeah. But like still, like I don't think we're ever gonna see something like this again.
So. Nah. It was entertaining. I mean, not that part, but like the rest of the fights were entertaining.
Yeah, those were entertaining.
Those are really good.
Those are absolutely crazy. And those are the people didn't really want to watch those, but like I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the lead up and the aftermath of the fight are probably more exciting than the actual fight.
Yeah, and the fight was fucking 15 minutes.
The build-up was cool though.
Fight was like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Bro, I gotta turn this off, man. I'm watching Ip Man whoop Mike Tyson's ass in here, man.
Oh, I don't know. That man did not whoop Mike Tyson's ass. Mike Tyson, they fought to a draw. And Mike Tyson got some clean hits off of that dude, man.
Seriously, I can't believe how clean the fight actually was. If anybody hasn't seen Ip Man versus Mike Tyson, go on YouTube, type it in. Ip Man versus Mike Tyson, man.
Yeah, it's probably one of the.
Crazy. Mike Tyson's in a kung fu movie.
I think next to the 10-man duel in the first movie, I think that Mike Tyson fights the most popular fight in the whole saga.
Yeah, it was cool. And because you didn't expect it.